Welcome everyone. I'm excited to kick off our presentation today on crop production and management. This is the first slide, which serves as our cover. We'll be exploring key concepts related to growing crops effectively and managing them efficiently. Over the next few slides, we'll cover various techniques, best practices, and important factors that influence successful crop production. So without further ado, let's dive into this fascinating topic. Today, we'll explore various aspects of crop production and management that are essential for successful farming. First, we'll look at food from animals, which highlights the importance of livestock in providing us with meat, milk, and other products. Next, protection from weeds is crucial because weeds compete with crops for nutrients, water, and sunlight, so controlling them is vital for healthy growth. We'll also discuss the pros and cons of using fertilizers. While they boost crop yield and soil fertility, overuse can lead to environmental issues. Then, we'll cover the preparation of soil, which involves plowing and mixing nutrients to create an ideal environment for seeds. Storage is another key point. Proper storage techniques prevent spoilage and protect harvested crops. Moving on, modern methods of irrigation, such as drip and sprinkler systems, help conserve water and improve efficiency, contrasting with traditional methods of irrigation like canals and wells, which are more labor-intensive. Adding manure and fertilizers enriches the soil naturally and artificially, providing essential nutrients for better crop growth. Agricultural practices encompass all the techniques and methods used in farming, from sowing to harvesting, which ensure productivity and sustainability. Harvesting is the final step, where crops are gathered at the right time to maximize quality and yield. Understanding what is a crop helps us grasp the importance of selecting suitable plants for specific environments. Agricultural implements, like plows and harvesters, are tools that make farming more efficient and less labor-intensive. Finally, all these topics come together in the chapter notes on crop production and management, which serve as a comprehensive overview of how effective practices and modern methods can lead to successful farming outcomes. Many individuals are moving to urban areas with a desire for a more comfortable lifestyle filled with modern technology and convenient food options. Unfortunately, they have neglected the fundamental source of their existence, the land that produces the crops that sustain us. It is crucial to educate ourselves on the cultivation of crops and their significance in order to fully appreciate the purpose of our daily efforts, which is to provide ourselves with nourishment. Let's take a look at some common examples of crops, such as wheat, rice, corn, and soybeans. These are all plants of the same kind that are grown and cultivated on a large scale to serve as food sources. When we talk about a crop, we're referring to these plants that are grown in large cultivable lands specifically for food production. The key idea here is that a crop is essentially a group of plants of the same kind cultivated together to meet our food needs. Understanding what a crop is helps us appreciate how agriculture works and how these plants become essential parts of our daily diet. So, whenever you hear about crops like rice or corn, think of them as the big, cultivated patches of plants that provide food for a huge number of people around the world. The activities that farmers undertake for cultivating crops over time are called agricultural practices. These practices are essential because they help ensure healthy growth and good yields. Now, let's look at some basic practices of crop production. First, we have rabi crops. These are the crops grown during the winter season, which generally runs from October to March. Some common examples of rabi crops include wheat, gram, peas, mustard, and linseed. These crops require cooler weather and are harvested in the spring. Next, we have kharif crops. These are planted during the rainy season, which in India is usually from June to September. Crops like paddy, maize, soybean, groundnut, and cotton are typical kharif crops. They depend on the monsoon rains for their growth. Despite the diversity of crops, we can categorize cropping patterns into two broad types, rabi and kharif. India's vast size means climate conditions vary across regions, temperature, humidity, rainfall, so different crops are suited to different areas. That's why we can grow such a wide variety of crops here, which is quite fortunate. Crops can also be classified based on the season they grow in, like cereals, vegetables, and fruits. And remember, when the same type of plant is grown on a large scale in one place, it's called a crop. Looking back at the history, early humans initially ate raw fruits and vegetables and hunted animals. But as they learned to cultivate land, they started growing rice, wheat, and other food crops. This marked the beginning of agriculture, which has evolved into the essential activity it is today. All these activities, these practices, are what make crop production possible and successful. They help farmers grow healthy crops and ensure food security for everyone. If the soil is very dry, it may need watering before plowing to make the process easier. When we plow the field, we often find big pieces of soil called crumbs. It's important to break these crumbs with a plank so the soil becomes softer and more suitable for planting. After that, the field is leveled using a leveler, which helps with both sowing the seeds and irrigating the crops evenly. The process of loosening and turning the soil is called tilling or plowing. We do this using a plow, which can be made of wood or iron. This step is crucial because it allows the roots of the plants to penetrate deeper into the soil and breathe easily. When the soil is loosened, it also helps earthworms and microbes, tiny helpful creatures, thrive, which benefits the soil's health. Turning and loosening the soil is one of the most important tasks in agriculture because it prepares the land for healthy plant growth. The top layer of soil, which is rich in nutrients, supports the plants and gives them the best chance to grow strong and healthy. So, proper soil preparation is essential for a good harvest and successful farming. Now, let's talk about some important agricultural implements that help farmers work more efficiently. First, we have the cultivator. It is attached to the tractor and plays a crucial role in loosening the soil. Cultivators are actually used instead of traditional plows because they are faster, making the farming process more efficient. Next, we have the hoe. This is a versatile tool used for digging up soil, removing weeds, and loosening the soil before planting a sapling. It helps prepare the land to give young plants a good start. The hoe is also used for adding fertilizers to the soil, removing weeds, and scraping the soil. You might notice that the plowshare, which is a triangular iron strip, is a key part of this process because it helps in turning and breaking the soil. Finally, let's look at the plow. This device is used by farmers for various purposes like tilling the soil, loosening it, and adding fertilizers. The plowshare, as I mentioned, is an essential component, helping to cut through and turn over the soil. All these tools, the cultivator, hoe, and plow, are vital for modern farming because they help make the land more suitable for crops, saving time and effort while increasing productivity. Nowadays, the seed drill is used for sowing with the help of tractors. With this tool, seeds are sown uniformly at proper distances and depths. It ensures that the seeds get covered by the soil after sowing and also helps prevent damage caused by birds. This not only makes the process more efficient, but also saves both time and labor. The seed drill itself is a tool shaped like a funnel. Traditionally, it was used for sowing seeds by hand. Seeds are filled into the funnel, and then they pass down through 2 or 3 pipes with sharp ends. These ends pierce into the soil and place the seeds at the right depth. Before sowing, one of the most important tasks is to understand the tools used for sowing seeds. Farmers tend to prefer seeds that give a high yield, which is crucial for good crop production. Sowing, therefore, becomes a vital part of the process. To ensure a successful crop, farmers select good quality seeds, clean, healthy, and of a good variety. Proper sowing sets the foundation for a healthy crop, and using the right tools and seeds makes all the difference. When sowing seeds, it's crucial to ensure they are healthy and of high quality. Poor quality seeds can lead to weak plants or poor yields, so always start with the best possible seeds. Next, we need to plant the seeds at the right depth. They should be sown deep enough to protect them from animals, birds, and wind, which might eat or blow them away. However, if they are too deep, they might not get enough air to germinate properly. Finding that right balance is key. It's also important to plant the seeds at the correct distance from each other. This ensures each seedling gets proper access to light, water, and nutrients from the soil, which promotes healthy growth. Additionally, when separating damaged seeds from healthy ones, a simple water test can help. Place the seeds in water. Damaged seeds are usually hollow, lighter, and will float. Healthy, good seeds will sink and settle at the bottom. This method helps us select the best seeds for sowing. Remember all these steps: using quality seeds, planting at the right depth and distance, and selecting healthy seeds are vital for successful planting and a healthy crop. When we leave the field uncultivated or fallow between two crops, it allows the soil to rest and recover its nutrients naturally. Alternatively, crop rotation involves growing different crops in sequence, which helps replenish the soil with various nutrients that different plants need. Now, moving on to some organic methods of enriching the soil, have you heard of vermicompost? It's a type of compost made using earthworms, which efficiently break down organic waste and produce nutrient-rich manure. On the other hand, adding chemical fertilizers involves applying minerals like potassium, phosphorus, and nitrates directly to the soil to boost plant growth quickly. Organic manure, however, is made from natural sources such as compost, green manure, or raw manure. Speaking of green manure, these are crops grown specifically to be buried in the soil, enriching it with organic matter and nutrients. Compost is simply well-rotted plant and animal residues, while raw manure is a mixture of cattle waste and other domestic waste. All these methods, natural organic manure, compost, green manure, are essential for maintaining soil health. They help prevent the soil from becoming depleted after continuous cropping, especially when the same crop is grown repeatedly in the same field. Finally, adding manure and fertilizers is crucial for replenishing nutrients lost during crop growth. Fertilizers supply essential minerals like potassium, phosphorus, and nitrates, ensuring healthy plant development. By combining these methods thoughtfully, we can maintain sustainable and productive farming systems. Now, moving on to the disadvantages of using fertilizers. One major concern is that they can make the soil less fertile over time. This happens because excessive use of chemicals can disrupt the natural soil balance. Additionally, fertilizers can cause water pollution, as excess nutrients often wash away into nearby water bodies, leading to issues like algal blooms and aquatic life harm. On the other hand, let's look at the benefits of fertilizers. They are rich in specific nutrients that help farmers achieve higher crop yields. For example, crops like wheat, paddy, and maize respond well to these nutrient-rich solutions, making fertilizers a useful tool for increasing productivity quickly. In the overall context, it's important to weigh these pros and cons carefully. While fertilizers provide fast results and are effective, they also come with environmental risks and long-term soil health concerns. That's why sustainable farming practices often emphasize using manure, which is more natural and beneficial for the soil in the long run. Let's talk about the various sources of irrigation. Common methods include wells, tube wells, ponds, lakes, rivers, dams, and canals. These are essential because relying solely on rain isn't always dependable. You see, a proper irrigation system ensures that crops receive water at the right time and in the right amount, which ultimately leads to higher yields. Water also plays a protective role for crops. It helps shield them from frost and hot air currents, creating a more stable environment for growth. When we talk about providing water at different times, we call this process irrigation. It's vital because seeds need moisture to germinate. Without water, seed germination simply doesn't happen. Additionally, nutrients dissolved in water are transported throughout the plant, helping it grow healthy and strong. So, water isn't just about hydration. It's fundamental for the plant's development, ensuring proper growth and productivity. This is why efficient irrigation is such a crucial part of successful farming and overall food security. Now, when it comes to accessing water from wells, lakes, and canals, different regions have developed their own methods of lifting it up to the fields. These methods vary depending on local resources, technology, and tradition. In many rural areas, traditional methods of irrigation are still widely used. These include techniques like bucket irrigation, where water is manually carried and poured onto the crops, or the use of simple tools like shadoofs and Persian wheels to lift water from lower levels. These methods, while simple, are very important because they form the backbone of agricultural water management in many parts of the world. They highlight how human ingenuity and resourcefulness adapt to local conditions. Connecting this to our overall theme, understanding these traditional practices helps us appreciate the evolution of irrigation technology and the importance of sustainable water use in agriculture. It also reminds us that even with modern advancements, traditional methods still play a vital role in many communities. In this system, water falls drop by drop right at the position of the roots. That's why it's called the drip system. It's a very efficient way to deliver water directly where the plants need it most, minimizing wastage. Now, moving on to the drip system setup, we have perpendicular pipes with rotating nozzles on top, which are connected to the main pipeline at regular intervals. When water flows through the main pipe under pressure, thanks to a pump, it causes these nozzles to rotate and spray water. It's almost like giving the crops a gentle rain, providing them with a steady and targeted supply of water. This method is especially useful for water conservation and ensuring that each plant gets the right amount of moisture. So, in the context of modern irrigation methods, the drip system offers a highly efficient way to irrigate, saving water and promoting healthy crop growth. Now, let's talk about protection from weeds. Weeding, as you might already know, is the process of removing weeds from the field. This step is really important because weeds can negatively impact our crops. They compete with the crop plants for essential resources like water, nutrients, space, and light. If we don't control weeds, our crops might not grow as well or produce as much yield. Weeds are undesired plants that grow naturally along with our crops in the field. They can be quite stubborn and grow quickly if left unchecked. That's why proper weeding is a key part of protecting our crops and ensuring healthy growth. By managing weeds effectively, we help our crops thrive, which ultimately leads to a better harvest. Remember, staying vigilant against weeds is essential for maintaining a healthy and productive field. Weeds are also controlled by spraying certain chemicals called weedicides in the fields to kill the weeds. They do not damage the crops. The best time for the removal of weeds is before they produce flowers and seeds, because at that stage, it's easier to control them and prevent further spread. Manual removal involves physically uprooting or cutting the weeds close to the ground, often using a kerpie, which is a simple farming tool. Farmers use many methods to remove weeds and control their growth, and one effective method is tilling the soil before sowing the crops. Tilling helps uproot and kill weeds, which then dry up and get mixed into the soil, making it less likely for them to grow back. Proper weed control is essential because weeds compete with crops for nutrients, water, and sunlight, which can reduce crop yields. So, managing weeds through these various methods helps maintain healthy, productive fields and contributes to better farming outcomes overall. Now, let's talk about winnowing. Winnowing is a natural process where we let the wind do the work. The wind blows through the grains, carrying away the lighter chaff, while the heavier grains fall straight to the ground. This method helps clean the grains efficiently. In modern times, a winnowing machine uses a fan to blow away the chaff, making the process faster and easier. Next, we have the combine. A combine is a very useful machine because it combines two important functions, thrashing and harvesting. Thrashing is the process of separating the grains from the straw and chaff, and a thresher is the machine that does this. It helps make the process quicker and less labor-intensive. Speaking of thrashing, it involves separating the grains from the rest of the plant material. Without a thresher, this used to be a very manual and time-consuming task. Now, machines handle this efficiently. Moving on, let's look at the tools used in harvesting. A sickle is a simple but very effective tool. It has a sharp, serrated metal blade attached to a wooden handle. It's used for cutting the crop when it's ready. The sickle allows farmers to harvest crops by hand, especially in smaller fields or for certain crops. But for larger fields, we use a harvester. A harvester is a machine that helps cut the ripened crop from the fields quickly and efficiently. It significantly reduces the time and effort needed for harvesting. And finally, the act of cutting down a crop once it has ripened is called harvesting. It's a crucial step in the farming process because it marks the end of the crop's growth cycle and the beginning of the post-harvest procedures. All these processes and tools are interconnected, making farming more productive and less labor-intensive. They help ensure that we get the most out of our crops with efficiency and care. When it comes to storing large quantities of grain, big go-downs are commonly used, and in these, chemical treatments are applied to protect the grains from pests and spoilage. At home, dried neem leaves are a traditional and natural way to safeguard food grains, which is quite effective on a smaller scale. When storing on a larger scale, grains are kept in silos and granaries, providing a controlled environment. For smaller storage needs, grains are often kept in jute bags or metallic bins, making it easier to handle and access the food. It's important to dry the grains in the sun before storage to reduce their moisture content, which helps prevent mold and rot. In large go-downs, we need to be especially cautious that chemicals used to repel or eliminate insects and rats do not contaminate the food grains. Proper ventilation of storage areas is essential to maintain quality and prevent spoilage. The storage environment should be completely dry, so the bags must be kept in moisture-free areas. Using dry gunny bags is recommended because they protect the grains from moisture and pests. Also, ensuring that grains are thoroughly dried before storage is crucial. If not, they might rot easily, leading to loss. Overall, taking these precautions, controlling moisture, ensuring good ventilation, and using proper packaging helps keep our food grains safe and fresh for longer. Granaries are the places where freshly obtained food grains are stored. They play a crucial role in managing food supplies, especially after the harvest. By storing grains properly, communities can ensure they have enough food during times of scarcity or bad harvests. Think of granaries as the safety net for food security. They help prevent waste and spoilage, and also allow for a steady food supply over time. Connecting this to our overall theme, granaries highlight the importance of organized storage and management in sustaining a civilization's food resources. Proper storage not only preserves the grains, but also supports the economy and stability of the society. Humans rely on animals in countless ways, and over time, we have domesticated many species to serve our needs. Animal domestication is a practice that has been around for thousands of years, dating back to the very beginning of agriculture. When we talk about animal husbandry, we're referring to the management and care of farm animals, whether it's for producing milk, eggs, or meat. This essential aspect of farming not only supports our nutrition, but also connects deeply to the overall theme of how humans interact with and depend on the animal world. It's a tradition that continues to evolve, ensuring sustainable food sources for generations to come.